Hello, my name is Danny Duncan. I am a native San Franciscan and I have been in the theater all my life. And I have been with ArtsEd for nigh on to 30 years, I think. I started in 1989, the year of the great earthquake. And for like 10 years, we did the event at Sigmund Stern Grove. And towards the end of those 10 years, Emily Keeler, who was artistic director, asked me, would I be interested in starting a children's musical theater company doing the Broadway canon. And I thought she was joking, of course. And I said, of course, just very nonchalantly, not knowing that she was very serious. And within a year or two, the players were formed. And it's been 20 years since she and I and Camille Olivier Salmon started this company. And it's incredible what it is and what it represents in musical theater in the Bay Area to young people and to the community at large. So I'm very proud to have been associated with this. And when I'm dead and gone, I know it's going to go on. Somebody will pick it up and carry on with the work that we've started. We don't do kiddie theater in the sense of people, cater to children when they work with children and they change things. It's Dr. Blake told me and Emily some years ago, Broadway shows were not written for children. And it's very true. So you've got to somehow or other bring the child up to the standards that that particular piece demands of the young artist. So there are things with regard to doing Broadway shows with young people that you have to be aware of. You're going to have to change certain things or delineate certain things that's something that's salacious or whatever. You've got to kind of clean it up, not cut it, because you've got to always respect the text of a show. But there are those differences that come about, and with the choice of the show that you're doing. These children are different children who would spend 6 hours on a Saturday. That's not normal. The theater is not for normal people. I mean, it's just chance and dedication and ego and just a love of work. So in that, it's different with children who aspire to the theater, aspire to study. We try to prepare them for School of the Arts in San Francisco and the Oakland School of the Arts there in the East Bay so that they can leave us and go on and study the craft that they are interested in. But either way, it's arduous and it's difficult. And they work from Thursday, Friday, 3 hours, and then on Saturdays before the pandemic, those kids were there from 12 noon to 6. And I mean, what kid is going to spend that kind of time? Only a child who is a freak of the theater and loves the theater and wants to dedicate themselves to it. It's a wonderful thing to have watched over 20 years. And the children who come out of this program, I'm so proud they're on Broadway in movies. They're teachers. It's just incredible. They're on television now and television shows. It's just a wonderful thing that Arts Ed represents and what the players has put out into the world of entertainment. I mean, the theater, that experience serves in so many different ways with regard to how the child wants to develop their interest in the arts. I think one of the wonderful things, the secret Sondheim was so special. because we honored his contribution to the musical theater, and we had bits of all of the shows that he has written. And the students did wonderful things. It was just a memorable production in every way. We did something from his first unproduced musical, Saturday Night. I thought it was just wonderful. You know, musical theater was not written for children. And I tell them all the time, you are going to get an education about life and the realities of the world if you're going to do musical theater or if you study theater in any way. Theater is a reflection of the world that we live in as human beings, as people. I think just to be able to do the work. You know, when I was a young man growing up in the Bay Area, everybody thought I was going to go to New York and become a star or something because I had such a formidable reputation in the Bay Area as a dancer and a choreographer, and with my company, which toured all of the West Coast for at least 10 years of my early life and gaining me a reputation in the dance world. And then I went into the musical theater in 1970 and ending up in New York at off Broadway at City Center with my show Uhuru, which in Swahili means freedom. So I had the New York experience, and I came home because there was only one Danny Duncan in San Francisco, but there were 5 or 6 of them in New York City. So I wanted to be that one and only one in San Francisco. So I made that choice. When the show closed, they asked me, the producer said, "You don't belong in San Francisco. You stay here and make a career." I said, "No, there's something for me to do at home." And so I'm glad I came home and have had the life I've had with Art Said and these young people in the last 30 years of my life. I wouldn't have changed it at all. And it's just a joy and a pleasure every opening night that we've had to see those young people on that stage at curtain call and the faces of the audiences. Because, like I say, you know, they don't do kiddie theater, they do adult theater for young people. So I'm just proud of that legacy that we've started, Emily, Camille, and myself. Their kids, they're gonna come and they're gonna take over when Em and I walk away. I don't want to name them. They know who they are. They're in the wings. They're in the wings and they're waiting. And when the time comes for me and Emily to vacate, which you know it's gonna eventually happen because nobody gets out of this alive. Uh, it's gonna happen, and somebody's gonna have to pick it up and carry it on. And we know we've got 4 or 5 of them in the wings, stage left and stage right, ready to come on and take center stage and be the stars to lead the players on for the next 20 years. God bless them. We sing revolting songs, you sing revolting rhymes. We'll be revolting children till our revolting time. It is too late for you. We are revolting again. Revolting time. I'm glad though these kids stuck it out and aspired to something that they could make a reality. They're doing it and they're going to prove it too.
I'm Oslo Mitchell, and I was a former player. Players really, for me, means family. It's really a community of people who are willing to learn and teachers who are willing to teach. Good creative material that I think is really important for our youth. because if you allow yourself to be creative, then there is so much more possibility with everything. And I think Players does a really good job of introducing that to everyone that joins the program. And that's why I really love Players, because they take the creativity and they invest it in young children's minds. And I think that's a really, really good thing, because it allows for people to go on in their careers, even if they don't stick with it, to then keep that creativity. And I think that's just a really beautiful thing. And that's why I love Players. The way that Players made me different is it made me more social, because you're around this community of people who do musical theater, and you get to really bond with the people. I am still friends with those that I performed with, and you form a really strong bond between them, and you never forget that. And so it's really about the bonds and the friendliness and the family that you get there. And I think that's really crucial to everyone. Thank you so much for your support through these trying times for Players. They really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, SFR said, and happy 20th anniversary to our Players. It's nearly been 17 years since I made my stage debut through the Broadway Adventure Summer Camp, and subsequently went on to do my very first show with the Players in Between Dirt and Sky back in 2005. And to this day, I remember the kind of commitment, dedication, professionalism that the rehearsals and performances required from me, even as a tiny 11-year-old. And this kind of training from such a young age ultimately served as a foundation for all aspects of my career. For instance, Between Dirt and Sky, which captured the life and legacy of the activist Cesar Chavez, instilled the value of social justice that has led me to engage in health policy and advocacy work in Washington, D.C. Wonderful Town, which was one of my favorite shows, and that's where I really discovered myself as a dancer. And the setting of the show made me fall in love with New York City, which would ultimately become my home for 7 years, where I attended hundreds of Broadway shows. And the theme of taking the road less traveled in Yellowwood inspired me to boldly embark on careers in broadcast journalism, humanitarian spaces with UNICEF USA, and most recently in medicine. And Carousel was my last show with the Players in 2010, and it ultimately became the subject of my college admissions essay. And the fact that I can say as an alumni that I performed in front of Cesar Chavez's family and was part of 2 original world premiere musicals before I even started high school demonstrates the kind of unparalleled opportunities that ARCED provide for the Players. Even as I'm pursuing medicine as a physician in training now, performing arts still remains to be a very integral part of my life. Not only am I introducing and talking nonstop about the wonderful world of musical theater to my medical school colleagues, but I'm also seeking ways to engage with the performing arts community during international travels, and I actually even participated in the 72nd Annual Tony Awards in Radio City Music Hall on stage with the cast of Once on This Island. So I very much still love and are part of the musical theater community as much as I can. And musical theater has personally been the medicine for my mind and soul during this very difficult time that we are all facing. So I'm forever grateful to my SFRZ family, who have all played instrumental roles in shaping who I am today and defined my ability to be self-aware, empathetic, and confident in the direction of my dreams. So thank you for believing in me even before I believed in myself. And in the wise words of Wicked, because I knew you, I haven't changed for good.
New Rochelle, New Rochelle, that's the place where the mansion will be. For me and my darling bright young man, I picked out for marrying. He'll do well, I can tell, so it isn't a moment too soon to plan on my life in New Rochelle. well, the wife of my darling tycoon. I would be so happy to keep his dinner warm while he goes onward and upward. Happy to keep his dinner warm till he comes wearily home from downtown. I will be there waiting until his mind is clear while he looks through me, right through me, waiting to say, good evening, dear. I'm pregnant. What's new with you from downtown? Oh, to be loved by a man I respect, to bask in the glow of his perfectly understandable neglect. Oh, to be loved in the aura of his frown, darling, busy frown. Such heaven, wearing a wifely uniform while he goes onward and upward, happy to keep his dinner warm till he comes wearily home from downtown.
Come fly with me, let's fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come fly with me, let's fly away. Come fly with me, let's float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come fly with me, let's take off in the blue. Just say the words and we'll beat the birds down to Acapulco Bay. It's perfect for a flying honeymoon, they say. Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Gonna start. Gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face, brush off those clouds and cheer up, put on a happy face, forget that gloomy mask of tragedy, it's not your style. You look so good that you'll be glad you decided to smile. Pick out a pleasant outlook, stick up that noble chin, brush off that full of doubt look, slap on a happy grin, and vote and spread sunshine all over the place if you put on a happy face. Brush off those clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Forget that gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You look so good that you'll be glad you decided to smile. I met a boy so gloomy, he never laughed or sang. He never listened to me. Now he's a mean old thing. So spread sunshine all over the place. If you put on a happy, put on a happy, put on a happy
Players for me has always been something that's professionally prepped us as young artists and as actors, and this is the way that the industry is going. So it's, once again, Players is helping us to navigate this new medium. And yeah, so when I was a player a little while ago, for a lot of years. I don't remember exactly how many, but and then I sort of like grew up through Players, and through being with Players, I was sort of introduced to this new family. And so and going forward in my career, a lot of the people that I met through Players are here supporting me, and I'm supporting them as well, like in New York, as we make our way through our professional careers. And I'm just starting mine, actually. I just got out of school, but I heard recently that I booked my first job as just like a background actor for an HBO series. And so that's really exciting for me. And I wanted to tell you guys that I'm very glad that I had my mask on when I had my fitting, because I was smiling uncontrollably. And it would have been so embarrassing if they had seen me smiling in this costume that I was wearing. And it was just, I'm very thankful for the pandemic in that way.
Hi, I'm Angela Trevino. Happy birthday, SF Arts Ed Players. Happy 20th. So the song that I've chosen to sing for you is not technically from a Players show. It's from a Broadway bound show. It is a song that has stuck with me up until this point, and I wanted to share it with you. So enjoy. Sweet, sweet baby, show me where it hurts, I'll tell you how to make it well. I've won lots of loving cups for playing show and tell. My poor sweet baby, poor sweet, sweet baby. When you need a shoulder, come and try mine on for size.
happy birthday, Art Said. Thank you so much for everything, giving me everything, believing in me, letting me express myself, and showing me the meaning of community through art. Today I'm singing Carousel, Mr. Snow from Carousel, and I picked this song because, well, Art Said did it, and I didn't get to be a part of the show, but it's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I would have loved to have been a part of it, and I am so grateful for Art Said for introducing me and making me fall in love with Golden Age musical theater. They instilled in us at such a young age that this is the foundation of everything musical theater, so, and I just love it so much. So I want to thank you guys. When I marry Mr. Snow, the flowers will be buzzing with the hum of bees. The birds will make a racket in the churchyard trees. When I marry Mr. Snow, then it's off to home we'll go, and both of us will look a little dreamy-eyed and drive into the cottage by the ocean side, where the salty breezes blow. He'll carry me across the threshold, and I'll be as meek as a lamb. Then he'll set me on my feet, and I'll say kind of sweet, well, Mr. Snow, here I am. Then I'll kiss him so he'll know that everything'll be as right can be, living in a cottage by the sea with me. For I love that Mr. Snow, that young seafaring, bold and daring, big be-whiskered, overbearing, darling Mr. Snow.
My name is Jamie, and I have had the great pleasure of being a player as a young person and also working with the players today as a choreographer. And when I was younger, I thought that the players were the most incredible professional theater experience. I revered Ms. Keeler and Mr. Duncan and Ms. Laura and Ms. Nick with like the most awe, and I thought if I could just please them, if I could just show them how dedicated I am to this craft, that would be my wildest dream. And I looked at my life in Arts Ed as if it was the most incredible theater experience. And as I got older, I thought, you know, every kid thinks that whatever they did when they were younger was the most amazing thing. But now that I'm an adult working with Arts Ed, I still revere Emily Keeler, and I still revere Mr. Duncan and Laura Ellis, and also Aaron Gentry and Mr. Peter and all the other people that I get to work with, because I do actually still think that Arts Ed is one of the most incredible theater companies with so much dedication, so much earnestness with which it approaches art and theater, and teaches people to truly love the craft of theater and love and respect this genre and art form. So thank you so much, Arts Ed, for filling my youth with theater and magic, and for filling my adulthood with theater and magic.
Something is stirring, shifting ground, it's just begun.
Edges are blurring all around, and yesterday is done.
Feel the flow
tomorrow's papers, up to us man to show 'em.
It's our time, breathe it in. Worlds to change and worlds to win.
Our turn coming through. Me and you, man, me and you. Feel how it quivers on the brink. What? Everything gives you the shivers, makes you think. There's so much stuff to sing.
You and me will be singing it like the birds. Me with music and
You with words, tell them things they don't know.
up to us, pal, to show 'em.
It's our time, breathe it in. Worlds to change and worlds to win.
Our turn coming through. Me and you, pal, me and you.
Feel the flow, hear what's happening. We're what's happening.
Long ago, all we had was that funny feeling.
Saying someday we'd send 'em reeling. Now it looks like we can.
Someday just began.
It's our time, breathe it in. Worlds to change and worlds to win.
Our dreams coming true. Me and you, pal, me and you.
Years from now, we'll remember and we'll come back by the rooftop and hang a plaque.
This is where we began.
Being what we can.